game was noticeably faster. You know, I think it was a fast start to the game. It took us a little bit to break Widnes down, but I thought we were really composed, controlled. We looked like we were reasonably organised, and yeah, it was a really good workout for both teams.
You were obviously going into the game looking for certain things.
Yeah.
Potentially what you've done during pre-season, I guess. What things did you get out of it?
Yeah, well, I thought we got that. I thought in attack we were pretty methodical. We scored some nice tries, but I thought we did the basics really well. I think, it's really boring to talk about completion rate in a pre-season trial game when you're trying things, but with all the changes that we made, we were 89% in the first half with probably our strongest team, as it was clear, but 100% in the second half with all the changes and the kids that go on. And what we've been looking for in pre-season is for the players to have some clarity in terms of what their job and what their role is in the team in attack. And if you get that and you understand what they're supposed to be doing, it minimises errors. And on a cold night, on a first day out, that's pretty impressive from us in terms of our completion rate. So I know it sounds really boring and that, but it was that. But it actually was. We showed a fair bit of a flair during the game there as well, and scored some really nice tries.
Obviously early days, first game, another 4 or 5 weeks to go before the Super League season starts. Was this very much a stripped back performance as well?
I think what it was that obviously we're not going away, we're not doing any warm weather training. There's a fair few teams out there. It's the first full week back after the Christmas break. These weeks can be typically tough weeks if you don't have a target at the end of the week. And I think with the weather, how it came in this week as well, it would have been a really tough, hard week for everyone just to get back into normal pre-season. So I think it created excitement at the back end of the week. The players were really keen to be involved, and we involved everybody apart from some obvious ones who were recovering from surgery in the off season, and the boys were really keen to play. I think that was shown today. What it does now is it gives us some game footage. It gives us a feel of putting that Warrington shirt on in 2026, and then gives us for the next 3 weeks leading into the next challenge, which will be Lee, something really substantial to work with and to move forward and create that extra energy and momentum, hopefully going into what's going to be a very tough season.
You gave yourselves a very good start to the game, didn't you? You put a solid platform there for those 3 tries from Josh Steele.
Yeah, it's great to see Josh score an hat-trick like that. He trains extremely well. Obviously, it's my first experience working with the whole group of players, and they've been good. And but yeah, it was a strong start. Widnes started pretty strong. Like I said, we defended well, but I think we give a penalty on the first set to defend our try line. It was going a little bit set for set. So, but yeah, some nice interplay there and some nice discipline from us to execute some tries.
Obviously, the Warrington fans are always keen to see the new players in action. How did you feel as though they fitted in? Yeah, look,
I thought the fans were obviously, they came in numbers. I think that really helped the game. Obviously, you come out for a trial game and there was over 4,000 people that I would have thought that's what it looked like and felt like, and some noise and some atmosphere. And I think it sort of lifted. I think that when the players see that, it takes it to a different level. So I thought they were good. I thought, like I said, all the players were solid. The new players were solid. They all showed glimpses of what they can do, and overall it was a good night for us.
Yeah, Josh Smith's catch and pass was very strong, wasn't
it? He's done extremely well to execute those. Like I said, on a night like this, and it's nice to see. It's you want these nights to go well. It's not the end of the world if they don't go well. But I thought for a first game, for some of our new players, for a first game for a lot of our younger players, and getting back into it for some of the other players there, it was, like I said, a really nice, solid, efficient start.
Was there any players that caught your eye in particular?
No, I think they all, like I said, they all contribute tonight, and I think credit to some of the young players in that second half, some of those players who, and everyone talks about the Warrington club have got some very good young players, and there were some players who trained with us for, trained one session with us this week and played 20-25 minutes at the end of the game there for us. That, rather than singling out sort of the senior boys, I think the younger boys deserve probably the credit for that and coming in and enabling us to be able to share that workload out.
Yeah. Was there any injuries at all?
No, I don't think so. No, I've just been down there now, and I think we're touch wood, everything's okay. Just me, Manny. Just had half a knee replacement, but you don't think like there. So just half a knee. That's all it needed. So we'll be all right.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Steve, just in terms of, from a coaching perspective, first half, was it the defence, the fact that we kept them out? Because they had some good ball position, especially in the early doors. So because that was the stronger of the two halves in terms of squad selection, as a coaching setup, how important was the nil? But then also in the second half, when the younger lads pretty much go behind, a couple of tries to one, the fact that those young lads galvanised,
responded.
in the second half.
I think there's many aspects to that game that you can look at, and I think obviously getting a nil in the first half, and we standing a little bit of pressure there from Widnes defending that, responding, coming back, scoring ourselves. Not making errors and unforced errors. Like you said, the young boys could have folded a little bit in the second half when Widnes scored a couple of tries, but responded in it back with I think 2 tries of our own, and finished the game really well. So I think there's a number of things throughout that game that you can look at and go, wow, that was good. There's obviously things there that we'll build on. There's bigger tests to come. There's going to be a lot more pressure, a lot more scrutiny, and everything else that goes with it. And it's just a start. It's part of our pre-season programme. We've been tackling each other, running at each other for 7 weeks, and we started early because of we never made the playoffs, so we started early. So I think it was really, really good for us, and like I said, important to play against a different team that throws different things at you. We're happy with how it's unfolded for us.
And of course, you've been around the game for a long, long time. You've come to the club, and as you said, you've heard about what's coming through at Warrington. In your experience as a head coach, have you ever seen a bunch of players that there's so many of them coming through at the same time?
Well, when I was at Bradford, we had Sam Burgess there, we had Tom Burgess, George Burgess, John Bateman, Elliot Whitehead. It's just to name a few there, Brett Ferris. There was a crew there that came through what was very, very similar. It was very unfortunate at that stage we couldn't keep them together as a club, and I think this group of players, there's a lot of work for them to do still. It's not just because you're a good player at a young age doesn't mean you're going to be a top player. You have to continue to do the hard work. But the signs that I've seen that we'll continue to do that, and keeping this group within this club will be important for us moving forward. And if we do that and they continue to develop, then in a few years' time we'll certainly have plenty of homegrown talent in this Warrington team.
When somebody asks you the same question in 20 years, you might mention Warrington players.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Like I said, it was it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to work with them, on a daily basis, and I can only judge the club and the players and the people by how I find them, not by anything else. And so far, they've done everything we could ask for them, and they've been consistent in their lives and consistent in the training. And the first day showed a little bit of that tonight, and we need to now continue that for a number of weeks and months as this season progresses.
Just on the subject of youngsters, you and Owen obviously in the Hearts tonight recently signed a new 5-year deal. There's a bit of buzz around him. What can you tell us about him and the future that he's got?
Yeah, he's as a student of the game, he's keen to learn. Yeah, he's got his 5-year deal and well deserved. He's done great getting that, but it's not stopped him in terms of progression and trying to move forward. He's got a lot of physical development left in him. He's got a lot of rugby league knowledge in front of him there as well to pick up. But he's a very mature young man. He's a very talented young man. Trains really hard, and he's got his feet on the ground. You can see that quite clearly. It gives him a really good start to his professional career.
And you mentioned there about off-season surgeries. Can you just give us a roundup of injuries? Obviously, there was not George Williams, James Harrison, there was a couple left.
Yeah, so George was for international duty, he didn't play. James Harrison, Ben Curry, obviously there's Albert Opperwhite. They had surgery at the end of last season. They're okay, they're in full training, but we're just giving them a few more weeks. Albert Opperwhite, Aaron Lindop, Matty Ashton, Ollie Leyland were all coming back from ACL injuries, which was clear. So they're really on a strong path coming back from that. James Bentley, he had minor groin surgery 2 or 3 weeks back. He's in full training, but again, it's too early for him. going to have missed somebody here. Someone's going to pick me up on it.
Toff.
Toff's suspended. Toff Sipley's got the 3-match suspension from the NRL last season. So he's obviously tonight's one of those games. The league game will be the next one, and the Challenge Cup will be the next one. So he will be available for round 1. Zach Gardner, Zach Gardner as well, who's coming back from hamstring surgery at the end of last season as well. So there's a good crew there. What have not been available for us tonight. But yeah, we obviously have plenty of numbers there to choose from, and the young players certainly helps that give you depth in your squad.
Just for clarity, I know that was a long list there.
Yeah.
Are you hoping that most of them would be available for round 1?
Yeah, I think there's Aaron Lindop will be available for round 1. He's definitely not, probably Ollie Leyland wouldn't be either at this stage as well. But the other ones were
Matty Ashton will be back.
Matty Ashton. They're all pushing to be available for round 1. It's not that certainly there will be, but they're certainly pushing themselves hard and being in contention. Curry, Harrison, Williams, Bentley, they'll all be available as it stands right now, as things stand right now for round 1. So I think there's just a couple of boys there on the outside of that. And with someone like Aaron Lindop, again, an impressive young man, who's got a huge future in front of him, we certainly won't be rushing in and taking any sort of risk with somebody like that.
Steve, how strong do you think this year's squad is? I know you're fresh to the club, but when you look at the squad that Sam maybe ended last year with, how strong do you think this squad is?
I can't compare it. I have no knowledge of what the squad was last year, and I think you start trying to gauge that and that. We're 7 weeks into a pre-season. I understand the question, but we're 7 weeks into pre-season. We're one sort of trial game in. We're sort of happy where we're currently at, but in terms of making predictions and thinking where we might be compared to last year or where we might be during this season, it's just way too early at this stage to even think about it. But all I'll say is that we're happy with the attitude and the progression, the application of this group of players and staff as it stands right now.
What does the next few weeks look like now building into late?
Yeah, so we've got 3 weeks. We play, I think it's 3 weeks tonight, I think it is. It's Friday night, yeah.
3 weeks.
Sure it is tonight, yeah, 3 weeks tonight. So we get a couple of solid weeks of training in, weather permitting and everything else that goes with it, but we'll find a way around that. But it gives us, like I said, this game tonight gives us some real live footage, game day footage to work from. We'll continue our pre-season programme. We'll also be doing some slightly alternative things there just to mix it up and keep it so we don't create too much monotony there. But we've been very methodical in what we've been doing, how we've been training, when we've been training, how that's gone through, and that's helped us in terms of consistency. So we'll be looking just to build on that strong foundation that we've already built and get ourselves through obviously to the league game, which then takes you into a Challenge Cup game, and then round 1 starts the week after.
Can I just quickly ask you on Matt Dufty? Obviously that was the big news, he's returned to Australia. Can you just give us some sort of insight on that and the club and the conversations that are going on, and if it leaves you any salary cap room to
I don't know the full inside and outs of that. Obviously I wasn't here at that stage. He's not been here whilst I've been here, so it's very difficult for actually me to comment on. You probably need to ask Sam or Cal Fitzpatrick and Gary Chambers, one of those blokes, and to really answer that question I'd be making some